Hi, welcome to our maths lesson. Today we are going to learn about prime factorization. The aim of today's lesson is to do prime factorization. But what do I mean? Is to factorize any number, leaving all the factors as only prime numbers. So my learning objective is to carry out prime factorization. There are some key vocabulary I want you to take note of. Factors. Factors are parts of a multiplication problem. Factoring is figuring out what those parts are. Prime numbers, these have only two factors, exactly two factors, 1 and itself. Composite numbers. Now these are whole numbers that are not prime numbers. They are composed of primes. There are three success criteria that will help you to find prime factors of numbers. First, that you can identify prime factors. Second, you can also identify that multiplying prime factors give composite numbers. And third, that you can even work out prime factors of any given number. Now, given the number 7, what are the factors of 7? Let's see if we can apply our 3-point rule for finding factors when we did factors. The first rule was to only test half of the given number. So if I have the number 7, half is 3 remainder 1. So I cannot have this number without a remainder. The second was to use testing for divisibility. Now it's a rule to check if one number is divisible by another number. That is, the only number that are divisible by 7 are 1 and 7. And the third, when the factor pairs start to repeat. Now 1 times 7 is the same as 7 times 1. So actually, my factor pair for 7, because I cannot have that number, is 1 and 7. Now, how about 3? Again, if we apply the same rule as before for 7 in 3, now half of 3 is 1 remainder 1. So I cannot have this number. Now in my test for divisibility, I know that it's a rule to check if one number is divisible by another number. So the only numbers that are divisible by 3 are 1 and 3. And applying that in here, I can see the factors of 3 are 1 and 3. And if I carry on, it will be 3 and 1, which is a repeat. So the factors of 3 are 1 and 3. Now, from what we have discussed so far, what I want you to do is to pause the video from here, and using a piece of paper, I want you to list what the prime numbers are below 20. List all the prime numbers below 20 and all the composite numbers below 20. We'll look at it in the next slide. How did you do? Now, prime factors on the 20 are here. You can see the factors for 2 are 1 and 2. The factors for 3 are 1 and 3 itself, 1 and 5, 1 and 7, 1 and 11, 1 and 13, 1 and 17, 1 and 19. So these are prime numbers. But my composite numbers and the 20 are here. So let's see in the next slide how we can work out composite numbers. Now, if you come here, these were the composite numbers I was talking about. But how can we use prime factors to find these composite numbers? Come with me to here. For the number 2, I know the prime numbers 1 times 2 will give me 2. For 4, the prime factors 2 times 2 will give me 4. For 6, prime factors 2 times 3 will give me 6. For 8, prime factors 2 times 2 times 2 will give me 8. For 9 is 3 times 3. And this carries on to the end. So you can see multiplying prime factors give composite numbers. So, how will you work out the prime factors of 72? Now, what they are asking you here is to continue to factor 72 until all the factors are prime. Now, so let's see if we can follow our steps here. Now, think of any two numbers that multiply to give 72. Now, if I start with the lowest of the prime numbers here, can I multiply 2 by anything to give 72? Yes. 2 times 36 is 72. So 2 is a prime number, 36 is not. I'll ask myself the same question. Can 2 multiply by anything to give 36? Yes. 2 times 18 is 36. 2 is prime, 18 is not a prime. And I'll just keep asking myself the same question. Can 2 multiply by anything to give 18? Yes. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 is prime, 9 is not. When I come to this step, I know I cannot use 2 because 2 is not a multiple. 2 times anything cannot give me 9. So I'll go to the next number, 3. So 3 times 3 will give me a 9. Now I have got all my prime factors of 72 and I can list them below. The prime factors of 72 are 2, 2, 2, 3, and 3. Now what I want you to do is to pause the video here, try working out all the prime factors of 48. We'll check it in the next slide. How did you do? Now, to find the prime factors of 48, I will have my 48 here and just follow my steps here. Now, I'll ask myself the question, can 2 times something give me 48? Yes, I know half of 48 is 24, so actually 2 times 24 will give me 48. 2 is a prime number, 24 is not. And I'll ask myself again, can 2 times 24 give me, can 2 times any number give me 24? Yes. I know half of 24 is 12, so 2 times 12 will give me 24. Again, 2 is a prime number, 12 is not. And I'll keep breaking it down. I know 2 times 6 will give me 12, and I know 2 times 3 will give me 6. So all my prime factors of 48 are listed here. So coming over here, prime factors of 48 are 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So what I want you to do right now is to pause the video here and go and do the work. Now when you go to the work, ES1 is for miles and it's on page 1. The answers are on page 2. Please do not look at the answers before doing the work. Do the work first and look at the answers after. The same for medium. Medium is on page 3 and the answers are on page 4. Again, don't also look at the answers, do the work first. And same applies for the hot. Hot is on page 5 and your answers are on page 6. Now what I want you to do is to select one of the questions that you did really well at, then call a guardian. If they are busy, call a sibling and show them the steps you followed to get the correct answer. Now, just as a reflection, to find prime factors of numbers. Were you able to identify prime factors? Were you also able to identify that multiplying prime factors give composite numbers? Were you even able to work out prime factors of any of the numbers you were given? If you were able to do those things, well done. You can find prime factors of numbers.